It's February 22nd, 2021, and it's time for Channing and Friends. Cruz in Cancun. While Senator Ted Cruz rushed back to his state of Texas after backlash, we're getting a better look at what his family was up to on their controversial getaway. Then, spring is just around the corner, which means new TV shows and films to look forward to. Spence has a blockbuster preview for us. And life comes with its challenges, and it can be tough to keep it balanced. But for one man, his regular solution to keep his work life steady is raising eyebrows. So, let's talk about it. Hello, and welcome to Channing and Friends, everyone. It is Monday, February 22nd, 2021. We've got a great show for you today. Hi, Michael and Spence. How are you guys?
Hi. It's good. When you said February 22nd?
22nd.
Yeah, this month has not existed because I spent half of it having COVID. Now that I don't, just trying to get my life back on track, and days blur into weeks and weeks into months. So I'm like, It's almost March. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm good though.
I lost track of all days too. So
yeah.
I've spent most of my February theorizing about WandaVision, so same thing.
It's a good way to spend your month though.
I love it. Hey, also National Love Your Pet Day was over the weekend, and that was kind of fun because I got to give some love to my 2 fur babies. So Spence, you have a turtle, so I don't know if you did anything special, but
I represent the other spectrum of pet owners, the weirdos.
I love it.
We had a good weekend together. This happened like a week ago, but I'll tell the story now because it's adorable.
Yeah.
I was playing some acoustic guitar as I do, and he waddled over to the edge of his enclosure and just kind of looked at me. And I picked him up and I was like, "Hey, bud." And he sat on my lap while I played guitar. And that was like the most like cat or dog like he'd ever been. And I was like, this is what I wanted. I have a scaly dog. But yeah, Tarzan is wonderful. He's very small.
I'm glad you have a dog turtle.
Thank you.
A dog turtle. All right, you guys. Well, you probably heard all the news about Ted Cruz last week. The Texas senator was slammed for traveling to Cancun, while millions of people in Texas experienced power outages and record freezing temperatures during a deadly winter storm that has claimed the lives of more than 30 people. While his trip was supposed to last until Saturday, he turned around and came back to Houston last week, Thursday, and now, you guys, we're seeing exactly what he was missing out on. Video obtained by the New York Post shows Cruz's wife, Heidi, seen on the sand wearing a red bikini under blue beach umbrellas. Just more that adds to the story. So what are your thoughts on this whole matter, you guys? Michael, we'll start with you.
First of all, his wife's name is Heidi. One, the Yodelay he who is that's I don't like that. Anyway, it's hard to find words other than like screw him. Like, I watched CNN last weekend and just kind of followed because I didn't really understand the severity of what was going on. And after seeing that, and then after seeing pictures of him, as well as leaked text messages, like, screw him. Like, we already know he's an awful person. It's just now he has to go on an apology tour, which no one's going to forgive because people have died due to this natural disaster. Also, about the text leaked, like, if you're going to sneak, I'm not condoning this, but if you're going to sneak, like, charter a private jet. I've said this before, like, if you're going to sneak and you have the funds, like, sneak correctly or sneak well. Like, he went on, like, United Airlines, is it? Like, a United flight? And you're a popular, like, U.S. senator? Like, people are going to take pictures of you. You're dumb, you're canceled, you're stupid. No one's going to accept your apology. Period.
Yeah. Spence?
Yeah, I mean, Ted Cruz sucks. That's like a known thing. He's the worst. He's spineless. He's many things. Donald Trump said horrible things about his wife, and then Ted Cruz kissed the boots of Donald Trump. So he's just he's just a disaster, a very well-known political hack. Now, on to what happened, like the most Ted Cruz thing in the world. Like literally, I can't imagine a more like Ted Cruz situation than like being this like cavalier for Texas. I'm like the senator of Texas. I love Texas. I'm proud of where I'm from. And him literally not being there for like one of the worst thing to happen to Texas in like recent memory. Yeah. Like so like horribly like darkly funny, like in the worst way. Like I obviously everyone in Texas, like thoughts are with you, like hope that everything works out and, you know, send relief, do your thing, be helpful to people who are devastated by this. But like the fact that Ted Cruz wasn't there, like honestly made me laugh because I was like, just of course he wasn't. Like he's Ted Cruz. Like of course he's spineless. He doesn't actually mean anything he says. He's just a hack.
Also went to Cancun. Like that's the most basic influencer-esque thing to do. Like you're going to Cancun. Then his excuse was, oh, like any good dad, I took my daughters. They asked me. Like shut the frick up. Like. No, that's not what a good dad does, especially during a pandemic. Like,
well, and here's the thing: like, we all saw the storm coming. Like, the weather forecasters were saying this storm was coming. So then he decides to pack his bags and go to Cancun. Like you said, Michael, if you're gonna sneak, be smart. Don't be stupid. Ted Cruz is an idiot for doing this.
He's dumb.
Just gonna say it as it is. Like, there's no other. I don't know how else to. I can't sugarcoat it for you. Like this is what happened, and you have people dead in your state. The entire state is freezing over. There's no excuse for this. And then to say that when you come back and say that, oh well, I was trying to be a good dad and you know, chaperone my kids, my girls down in Cancun to fly down there with them, and then turn right back around. No, you were planning on staying there and. The picture of you on the plane went viral and you decided to come back. Like, it's idiotic behavior. I really don't know what else to say.
like, sure, dude, you were going to Cancun just to drop off your daughters, who I think are like grown. I could be wrong, but
I think they're in high school.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's old enough to where you don't need to fly your kids. Your kids.
I mean, technically they're minors, but also like, I feel like most teenagers are apt enough to take a flight. It's not that confusing. Yeah, BS. Like just nonsense.
And yes, also talking about how the text messages leaked, Michael, you said that. And so I'm like, you know, first of all, Heidi Cruz must be stupid as well, because how are your texts getting leaked? Or who are you talking to? Like, can you not trust your closest friends? I'm just like so confused. I'm so baffled by this.
I have something to say really quick. If you're going to be a bad bee, be a bad bee. If you're going to book a flight to Cancun, stay in Cancun for the week. Don't come back. If you're going to make that like public or like ballsy of a move, like make your bed and lie in it. Don't be like, oh, I come back because Texas is my, like, shut up. Stay in Cancun.
You're a public figure.
Like, do it. Go through with it.
You're flying in the public eye. You're a public figure flying in the public eye. Why won't you fly private? You have all this money. He has a mansion in Texas.
He's also a government official.
Yes.
They have plenty of private jets. If he wanted to make that happen, that could have easily been like made to happen.
Yeah.
It's just the whole situation is so ridiculous.
It is. It's
also, he looks like a fox. His face is ugly. Like. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep it.
Like you said, Spence, it's total Ted Cruz behavior.
Low-hanging fruit. Ted Cruz sucks.
Yeah. It is what it is. And to be honest with you, just for those that are watching and maybe fall on a different opinion, I would have to say I would probably have the same response to someone who is a Democratic senator as well. The point is that people are suffering, and you decide to leave your state that you sworn that you would protect and be there for the people.
This is not a partisan issue. It's
no,
like a human, like it's an ethics issue. Like it's not about like, are you a Democrat or are you a Republican? I drag, God forbid, but I drag AOC if she hopped on a plane and did the same thing. But like she didn't. But she raised $2 million.
Yeah. Well, speaking of AOC, you guys. That's our next topic, you guys. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is from New York, but she is focusing, or shifting her focus rather, on Texas this week. She reacted to the dire situation there by creating a fundraiser, which has raised over $3 million now. On Thursday night, you guys, the donation amount was around $325,000, but that night she posted on Twitter wondering if it could reach $1 million. And by midnight, it sure did. Then about 24 hours later, it reached $3.2 million. The funds raised will go toward 12 food banks and relief organizations. So here's the question. And I don't even know why I'm asking this question. I think it's just to get you guys to talk. But do you guys think that she did this in response to Ted Cruz, or is she solely focused on disaster relief? Spence?
I don't care. There's disaster relief that she made. Like if it is like in response to Ted Cruz being Ted Cruz, great. If it's not, also great. Like a good thing happened. That's kind of my attitude about it. And yeah, AOC has like a history of not being petty, but of like clapping back at people.
She's very good at it.
She's great. Like there was that I forget the name of the Republican guy who called her like the B word in the middle of Congress, and she like did some great thing the next day and tweeted, she's like, some kind of B word, huh? And I was like, yeah, she's petty in the best way. Like she remembers, she keeps receipts. Like she has her receipts for sure. And did Ted Cruz's like ineptness play into this? Possibly, but as I said, I don't care. A good thing happened. AOC's great.
Yeah. I love that response.
Same.
Yeah,
I have nothing more to add, you know?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you raise $3.2 million for disaster relief, I think you have the right to be super petty if you wanted to. You don't even have to be nice. Like you said, Spence, like this is a good thing. Like that's a lot of money that we'll be able to hopefully pay for a lot of people's expenses. I mean, we saw all the pictures of people's apartments flooded, their homes frozen over. I mean, it's terrible. So yeah, AOC is amazing. She is so great. And I think she's the first person that really we've seen that's like actually had raised this money for disaster relief. And I think she was there this weekend helping people out. So she's a good woman. All right, you guys, well, that's enough for what is new and noteworthy today. Coming up, Spence is giving us a spring blockbuster preview. Can't wait for that. We'll be right back.
For information about our show and to stay connected, visit channingreed.com/Channing and Friends. Click on the Episodes tab and never miss out on the conversation.
Welcome back. Well, everyone loves to binge their favorite TV show, start a new one, or obviously watch a good movie. So with spring right around the corner, Spence is giving us a preview of some new films to look out for and what's trending now. Spence?
Thank you, Michael and Channing. So March is right around the corner, and that means the spring/early summer movie season is about to begin. Of course, the pandemic is still a thing, so most of the typical big blockbusters will be released straight to streaming instead of theaters. And with that said, here are some of the movies and a few shows I'm excited for, and you should be too, coming out in the next few months. So starting in March.
I think it's guaranteed I will be very excited after your extensive knowledge on film.
I hope so. That is the idea. So starting in March, to the finale of a show we've talked about on the show itself, WandaVision will be airing in the first week of March, and we are all super excited about that. It was just recently crowned the biggest show in the world, so good for Disney.
Oh, wow.
And good for Marvel on that. Yeah, it's like, I mean, this last week it literally crashed Disney Plus when it aired, so they're doing just fine. But after the conclusion of WandaVision, the MCU will continue with streaming shows as The Falcon and the Winter Soldier will debut on March 18th on Disney+. So if you need to get your MCU fix, you'll have to wait about 2 weeks until Falcon and Winter Soldier debuts. But jumping over to movies, everyone's favorite Sea Sponge will be getting his third feature film, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. It releases on CBS. Yes, SpongeBob has 3 movies now. I never even saw the second one. I heard it was good. Happy for SpongeBob.
Wait, which one was the second one?
It was called Sponge Out of Water. They got like superpowers.
Oh no!
It was a really weird trailer, but I heard it was pretty funny. But yes, that releases on CBS All Access on March 4th, which is CBS's new streaming service, which I think is becoming Paramount Plus here in a couple months.
I think Paramount. I heard about that too.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, it was a big marketing push at the Super Bowl, but stay tuned for that if you like SpongeBob. And then the newest Walt Disney animation film, which released a teaser on Saturday, Raya and the Last Dragon, will release the following day, March 5th, on Disney+. So if you're a fan of animation, you're going to have 2 brand new animated films back-to-back on the 4th and the 5th of March. And that will, of course, debut on Disney+, and looks really cool. I feel like it's soon for it to be coming out because the marketing really hasn't given us much. I don't really know what it's about. Besides that, it just seems very like culturally based in kind of Asia, and there's a lot of, obviously dragons are very big in Chinese culture, so it's interesting to see what that's kind of going to look like more so as we get closer to the release. But yeah, that's on Disney Plus. On March 18th, the famous Snyder Cut of 2017's Justice League will release on HBO Max, and I have my Ben Affleck Batman shirt on right now. I'm super excited for that. It is now going to be titled Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it's probably going to be a pretty big deal because that's the first time Hollywood's ever done anything like that, where they removed him halfway through production and brought in a different director, and the movie was poorly received, and so fans have kind of petitioned to get him back in, and now they fully redid the movie under his guidance. So it's basically like a brand new film, basically Hollywood's first do-over, which is kind of fascinating. So even if you're not a fan of those movies, might be worth a watch just to kind of for the historical impact, I guess. Right. And then on March 31st, HBO Max gets another big action blockbuster with the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, which is the 4th movie, I think, in Warner Brothers' Monsterverse that had Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters. And now we get Godzilla vs. Kong. So that'll be fun. 2 big monsters fighting each other. Classic Hollywood stuff. Have you guys seen that trailer? It kind of broke the internet.
I didn't see it, but I don't know if you guys have seen the original Godzilla movies, but when I was younger, I watched like the ones that are in Japanese and they're all in Tokyo.
And the guys in the suits are Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, excuse me, but we would watch it all the time, and I loved Godzilla then. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'll love it now. But
I think it's going to be a movie that's hard to not love because it's just going to be them fighting in a city like the whole time.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, bring it on. Who doesn't want to watch that?
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to jump to the month of May because April was a little slow, but that's the end of March. So jumping to May, Marvel's long-delayed Black Widow film is still set to hit theaters. They're committed to theaters on May 7th. Now, of course, we'll see about that, and I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to announce it'll go to Disney Plus that date, because they've delayed it for like over a year now.
Yeah,
it's kind of at this point.
They kept pushing back the date so many times.
Right. So at this point, it's like just drop it on Disney Plus. It'll be successful. WandaVision's been extremely successful. Just it's worth it. But we'll see. On May 28th, Disney gets another movie, which is their live action reimagining of 101 Dalmatians titled Cruella. This is starring Emma Stone, and it actually is also scheduled for theaters. Again, I think we'll see an asterisk next to that in a couple weeks. But have you guys seen this trailer? It was interesting.
I saw it, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of got like Harley Quinn vibes from it.
Totally.
Yeah.
I when I saw it, the first thought I had was, oh, this is like Disney's Joker movie. Got it.
Yeah.
Which is weird for Cruella, but also like kind of here for it.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
I'm very interested too, and that is definitely a movie I would want to watch, because I was like, I don't know if she's gonna like try to keep the classical Cruella character, or is this gonna be a totally revamped idea of who Cruella is.
Yeah, I know that the original movie is like set in like the 1950s or 60s, and this is set in like the 70s, 80s, like punk revolution in England. So this is like I don't know how much you guys know about like the timeline of like rock music, but this is like the age of like the Clash and like Joy Division and very like classic English punk bands. So I think the kind of take on it is that Cruella is like a punk figure in gray London. She's like a pop of color and kind of rebellion, which I think is like not a bad take. I'm okay with the live action movies if they do their own thing. Yeah. The reason I don't like Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King is because it's like shot for shot the same movie. And at that point, what's the point? Like the other one's better.
Yeah.
Why do I want to watch this version?
I have to agree with you. That's why I didn't even watch them, because I was like, it looks like it's all going to be the same. And then I heard reviews on it, and I was like, I'm not. It's not worthy of my time.
Like, I love those stories, but I'd rather just watch the animated version if you're not going to do something new with it. Anywho, off my soapbox. But last but not least, on May 28th, the 9th film in the Fast and Furious franchise, which it's so silly that they made 9 movies, but this one will be titled simply the letter F and the number 9, and it's still also set to hit theaters. So that one I think might go to theaters because it's just such a theater movie, and they'll just kind of cut their losses, but we'll see. Yes.
Do you know what F9 means? Or
I guess just Fast and Furious 9, but maybe just Fast 9, Furious 9. It's just the poster and the trailer end with just F9. And those movies are like notoriously dumb. So let it rock. F9, who cares?
I remember, I haven't seen all the movies. I can't remember which one I watched.
They're dumb.
I've seen some of them, and I was like, no.
Very much
just
like
testosterone filled, kind of like fast cars.
Very bro action movies, which have their place. People like those, like lots of gasoline, fire, explosions, and all that good stuff. But that's the end of the spring movie season, guys. So exciting things on the way. I'm personally most excited for the Justice League cut, and then of course the finale of WandaVision. I can't wait. But did you guys have any in there that stuck out to you as being exciting?
Michael?
WandaVision.
Oh, WandaVision.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch WandaVision, the finale, because I feel like right now they're kind of teasing us, but I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have to say Paramount Plus sounds super interesting. Like you said during the Super Bowl, I saw some of the commercials for it, and I'm like, oh, this will be great because it will compete with Disney Plus, and it's going to have all of those movies that us 90s babies or TV shows loved, like SpongeBob. They better have Jimmy Neutron on there. I really hope that they do. Fairly Odd Parents. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully it'll be a success.
Yeah. That's all going to be really exciting. I'm always excited for new movies and shows, but that'll do it for my segment.
Hey, we're going to have to do this again for the summer season, because I know
I was going to say we got to do June, July, and August. That's the big stuff.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Spence. We'll definitely have to look forward to watching those movies and TV shows this spring.
Totally. So coming up, how would you react if your professor admitted in class to using illegal drugs?
Oh my goodness. Welcome back. Now to a bizarre story, you guys. Imagine having a professor who admits that he snorts heroin regularly. Yes, you heard exactly what I said, and it is the reality for some students.
Yeah, guys. His name is Carl Hart, and he is a Columbia University professor of psychology and neuroscience. He is 54 years old and a father of 3. He says he has snorted small amounts of heroin for as many as 10 days in a row and enjoyed it.
Wow. He also admits that he experienced mild withdrawal symptoms 12 to 16 hours after the last dose. As you can imagine, that is definitely getting a lot of people talking, perhaps with a little bit of backlash. But in response, the professor says it's, quote, as irrational as my alcohol use, like vacation, sex, and the arts, heroin is one of the tools that I use to maintain my work-life balance, end quote. I
really don't know what to say to this, other than to laugh, because it's funny. Like, can you imagine walking into your class and you sit down and your professor's like, hey class, so I just admitted that I snort heroin. Like, what the heck?
That's weird.
Yeah, I get it. We all have our vices. We have our like things that give us that release. Heroin is not really
extreme.
one of the options. Yeah, heroin is one that's a little bit on the no-no list. Especially to publicly discuss.
Exactly. That's my thing. I'm like, maybe, some things maybe should be kept secrets. Because, I don't know, maybe, could you lose your job for saying something like that?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure he did. Yeah, I mean, you're a professor of education for effectively kids. I mean, even in college, like, you're still very young and you're still developing. And when you have a professor who's advocating for like small, like micro-dosing heroin, he's fired. Even if he has tenure, like, he's fired.
Yeah, I would.
Like, he's gone.
He lost his job.
I would take him out. I hope everything is okay with that man, and I hope he doesn't overdose because...
I hope he finds the help he needs.
Yeah, for real though. Because,
Bless him. Bless his spirit.
Okay, well, we're going to end it on that note, you guys. That is going to do it for the show today.
Yes, Spence, thank you so much again for getting us prepared on some upcoming TV shows and movies.
Of course. And remember, you can always catch us on IGTV and YouTube.
Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time here on Channing and Friends.